Hey, everybody. Welcome to this WLBT Plus Digital News Desk update for your Thursday, October 2nd. I'm CJ LeMaster, lead investigative reporter for WLBT and your host for today's update. Hope everything's going well with you on this Thursday. Today, the first day of the Mississippi State Fair, and we have a lot of news to get to as well. Thanks to everybody who's watching us right now on our Facebook live stream, as well as YouTube, and of course our app and the OTT platform. Thanks for joining us today. We want to get right to the biggest story right now, which is the government shutdown. It's now entering its second day as lawmakers in Washington continue their partisan battle over a federal funding bill. As long as this shutdown drags out, doesn't drag out. Congressional leaders say we shouldn't feel much of an impact here in Mississippi, but if it ends up lasting longer than a month, that's where concerns come in. As of right now, programs like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and VA benefits will continue. If you receive SNAP benefits, you will still get them for the month of October, but your November benefits could be delayed if the shutdown continues. Essential workers will keep working, but they won't be getting paid. They and furloughed employees will receive back pay once the shutdown ends. Since no one knows how long the shutdown will last, not knowing when the next check is coming could be difficult for federal employees and the state.
Length of time will mean something. As we get closer to the end of October, if we don't see any movement, we will have to have a contingency plan to alert our clients and as well as our staff who could be affected by any lengthy government shutdown.
We're one of those states that get more money back from the federal government than we send to the federal government. For every dollar that we send to Washington, we get somewhere around $260 to $275 back. So we need help on a regular basis. So a shutdown like this under any circumstance is bad for a needy state.
Now, both of Mississippi's U.S. Senators, Roger Wicker and Cindy Hyde-Smith, are placing the blame on Senate Democrats. They both voted in favor of a bill to end the government shutdown. Senator Wicker posting on X, basically pointing fingers at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, saying the longer Senator Schumer plays games, the greater the damage to national security, service members, and veterans. I urge my Democratic colleagues to adopt the House-passed bill, which would immediately reopen the government. Again, those are Senator Wicker's words. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith also posting, quote, Senate Democrats have twice now rejected a clean bipartisan bill to keep the government open just to push a radical partisan agenda. Most Americans don't want this. It's time to put country over party and fund the government. Again, these quotes coming from Senators Wicker and Hyde-Smith on the government shutdown. And of course, the issue on the table here for Democrats is health care funding. Representative Benny Thompson says lawmakers will be back in Washington next Tuesday. He's optimistic they'll be able to reach an agreement by next week and hopefully end this shutdown. We've got a few of you saying hi today. not to be outdone, Britt saying good afternoon, everyone. Britt, hope you're doing well as well. Thanks for always chiming in and watching our Facebook live streams. We really appreciate that. There's another potential impact too that volunteers are trying to kind of ward off, and that's national parks that are being affected. Of course, Mississippi has 9 national parks across the state. One of the most well-known, of course, the Vicksburg Military Park. It remained closed on Tuesday. Many visitors were turned away after speaking with a park officer at the gate. Well, we actually spoke with a group of people there. The director of a group, I should say, called Friends of the Military Park. And they basically gave, some insight into the extent of the park's closure and what could be done about it.
As of last night at midnight, there was a lapse in federal funding, which has affected all national park sites, including our park. So this morning, our tour road is closed, the museums, the visitor center, all restrooms are closed. Pedestrians are able to enter the park, but not vehicles.
Now, again, Friends of Vicksburg National Military Park is also doing its part to try and make sure that the park can open with a skeleton crew and operate there through donations. And of course, you can go to their website to find out more information about that. It's friendsofvicksburg.org.
Last night at midnight, there was a lapse.
Sorry about that. There's only so much video on that clip, and then it starts playing again. We are learning more about the evidence that will be presented at trial in the bribery scandal here in Jackson that involves former elected officials for the city of Jackson, as well as the current Hinds County DA. Of course, we're talking about something we have been, we have been following this story from the very beginning. Former city council members Angelique Lee and Aaron Banks, former Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, and the current DA of Hinds County, Jody Owens, were implicated in the case, which involved FBI sting operations. Now, federal prosecutors say they have provided search warrant materials for the defendants' devices, presumably cell phones, transcripts of recordings, data from iCloud accounts, and even body camera video. U.S. District Judge Dan Jordan says that the volume of material in the case is the most he's ever seen. He's giving the government 2 more weeks to finish providing materials related to confidential sources who helped the feds build their case. The judge says the trial is on track to begin in July. And one thing to tell you about, too, if you remember, this whole scandal came about when this sting operation, there were undercover FBI operatives that were posing as developers from Nashville who came down here, met Jody Owens, who also asked him about wanting to get this convention center hotel off the ground. Excuse me. I guess I should have known this was going to happen one day when we were on live. But again, this happened. These undercover developers came in, met with Jody Owens, and then they were trying to say, how can we do business in Jackson? How does Jackson work? And they met with council members, and there were 2 council members that offered to give their votes to approve this company getting that bid in exchange for money. That never panned out, of course, because the operation was being monitored by the feds, and it resulted in indictments, arrests, and the resignation of Angelique Lee from office. So, a lot of things going on out there. We've got some comments here. Patricia Dawson saying, good afternoon, everyone. Patricia, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well, too. Let's see. I think we have, another comment here from Dennis Miller, not the famous former talk show host. Dennis Miller saying there is no bill to end the shutdown. Your report is incorrect. Do better. We never said there was a bill. I literally said that the government shutdown is ending its second day, and they're battling over what was initially proposed. So, and until that battle ends, there will be no end to the shutdown. But again, we don't know what has been proposed outside of the original, what the Republicans called a clean bill that Democrats opposed. So, and as of what we've heard right now, nothing else has been proposed. That original bill is still there. And we are trying to obviously monitor that story very closely with our partners with NBC and also our parent company, Gray Media, that has staff in Washington monitoring all of this far more than us or anybody else watching at home would be doing. Britt asking if the trial will be televised or not, since it's a federal case, and she's talking about the bribery scandal. It won't be. And that's the thing. That trial is going to be in July of 2026. That trial will likely last 2 to 3 weeks from what we're hearing. And so it's one of those things where we will cover it each day, and then we'll have to come out and just basically, give an idea of what happened that day. In some cases, and you've noticed this probably on television, in federal trials like the Diddy trial, other trials like that, they'll sometimes bring in somebody to do sketches, courtroom sketches, so that we at least have some degree of a picture of what's going on in the courtroom that we can share with other people. We may be able to do that in this case. I hope that we'll be able to. Those aren't cheap, but they certainly help tell the story to our audience. So Britt, thank you for that question. Torsha Wood saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Hope you're doing well. We're almost to the weekend, aren't we? And Patricia Dawson saying I'm praying for things to get better for everyone. Patricia, that's a lovely sentiment, and I echo that. I hope so too. We've got one more story, actually a couple more stories to get to. One is an investigation that I've been working on with my colleague Anthony Warren for a couple of months, and it's going to be premiering tonight. And it's basically it's an investigation that you're only going to see here on WLBT. It's an exclusive investigation. We're taking a closer look at the mistrial that left a black FedEx driver without justice against the men who shot at him back in Brookhaven in 2022. You probably remember the story. DeMontario Gibson's van was shot 5 times while he was trying to deliver a package. A Lincoln County judge dismissed the case against the 2 white men, Brandon and Gregory Case, in January of this year. Tonight, we dive into the reasons for that dismissal and the mistrial more than a year earlier about misplaced evidence and the detective who allegedly did it. The former district attorney also responding to claims that the case was rigged and whether the Brookhaven Police Department sabotaged the case, which the former police chief has refuted many times. Had you had problems out of the Brookhaven Police Department before, and specifically Detective Fernando?
The answer to that question would be yes. I've had it across the district, having problems, just like all other district attorneys have had, just having additional, again, small details. I've had issues with Brookhaven PD at that time, was having severe problems. I mean, I think it's well out there. And it had previously had problems with Detective Fernando. Now, was it malicious? I would never say that in my opinion, it wasn't.
Don't miss The Detective versus the DA, a WLBT 3 on Your Side investigation airing tonight at 6 during our newscast. Well, the gates of the Mississippi State Fair already open. They opened today at 11 o'clock, and there are lots of new and exciting things at the fair this year. You can expect all your favorite fair traditions, rides, games, food, and more. Anything that can come in on a flatbed, you'll probably see it there. Yesterday, we spotted several vendors that were cleaning and finalizing their setup for the crowds. About 500,000 visitors are expected on the Midway over the next week and a half.
I especially look forward to the food, the turkey legs. I like getting the free biscuit, of course, and the taffy.
Okay.
Always.
Now, what is your favorite fair food?
I would say the turkey leg.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, the gates opened at 11 today. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony. You'll see coverage of it in our early evening newscasts. And again, you can enjoy all the food and fun through October 13th. And it's exciting. I actually tried to go there for lunch right before our broadcast. I got a free biscuit, but I wasn't able to get anything else. So I may have to go back out there because there's already a lot of people out there. So that's good to see. A couple of comments here in Facebook as well. Have one from Patricia Dawson talking about the investigation that we are having tonight. That's really sad because the FedEx driver could have been killed. Then what? Yeah, the vehicle was shot 5 times, and he was fired upon. And if those bullets had hit him, it likely, who knows what could have happened. He was driving a Hertz van, but he was an employee of FedEx. And the irony is that he was actually dropping off a package at the home of one of the case family members, which the two individuals, one who confronted him, one who allegedly shot at him, he was dropping a package off at their house. And so, again, that's something that we have tonight that you'll see, and you'll also be able to see that online as well if you're not able to watch our newscast tonight. Brit saying, sounds like corruption to me. It's there's a lot that we don't know. And when you have a detective saying that he gave them everything, then you have a DA saying he didn't get everything. One of the things that I think is significant is one of the things they said was missing was a disc that said disc 10, and it was one of 16 discs that was handed over. So when they looked through the file before and they saw all the information there, if disc 10 was literally missing, you'd see discs 1 through 9, then you'd see 11 through 16. And you would think you would see that there was one missing if they were all numbered. But again, the DA's office said that there was everything that they were given did not show that that particular disc was there. And they did not bring it up to police. The detective assured them in an evidentiary hearing before the trial that they had everything. These individuals had been indicted by a grand jury months earlier on the evidence that had already been presented. And the evidence that's on that disc that was withheld would actually have been more favorable to Mr. Gibson, meaning it would not have helped the defense. Even so, the judge granted a mistrial, and then on learning that there was additional evidence that may have been withheld or at least held back from the department, the case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it can never be brought again. Gibson is pursuing civil remedies against these two men in a federal case, and we are continuing to follow that as well. Torsia Woods talking about the state fair, saying great revenue for the city. It is a big moneymaker, and it is a very good thing as well. The Mississippi State Fair will bring good revenue. That's right. And it's, it's one of those things that every year we kind of look forward to. I look forward to it mostly because of the food, the ribeye steak sandwiches and stuff like that, the free biscuits, it's really good stuff. The fried Oreos, those are great. So, Lawrence Garrett or Garnett, excuse me. I'm sorry, Lawrence, saying, what if that was a black man? You need a FedEx driver. What do you think they would have done? I think what he's saying here is if the roles were reversed and if you had a FedEx driver who was white and two black men confronted him and one shot, and that's a fair question. We have done our best to try and make sure that the DA sat down with us for an interview, and I was surprised about that, but I'm glad that he did. There are a lot of questions people have about that case, and it's something that if we ever were to find any evidence of any kind of corruption in terms of actual physical evidence or things like that, communications, we would certainly share that. And we have not found any evidence of that. That's not to say that it doesn't look unusual. And but we are going to continue to follow, even though this story is airing tonight, we're going to continue to follow this case. And if we find anything out, we'll let you know. We really appreciate you joining us today for our Thursday update here on WLBT Plus. And I really appreciate we had a lot of communication, folks. Thank you so much for everybody who participated in this so we could have sort of a back and forth and get to share some extra details with you. So we're going to hear from a word from our sponsor, Jackson Water. My name is CJ LeMaster. I'm the lead investigative reporter for WLBT and your host each and every weekday at 1 p.m. for our digital news desk update here on WLBT Plus. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water?
No!
What if I run the garbage disposal?
No!
How about if I use dish soap at the same time?
No!
Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.